Today we're going to look at some array formulas to help us do some invoice aging. Um, on the left hand side here I've got a table with 30 invoices. They're the date they were produced, description and amount. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the number of days that each invoice is aged here. We'll fill out a column here in terms of whether that's true or false, and we're going to have we're going to do the invoice aging. We've got 5 buckets: 0 to 30, 31 to 60, 61 to 90, 91 to 120, and over 120 days. And we're going to do it in 2 different ways. Firstly, we'll use some sum ifs with the other helper columns, and then in this little box here we'll do it all with array formulas, just so we can see how it all builds up. So if we want to age an invoice, we'll use the current date minus the date of the invoice, and actually if we just change that to general, you can see we get the number of days that an invoice is aged. Now, whether that is, we need to net check whether that's between 0 and 30 days. So if we say so that equals whether that is less than or equal to 30, that will tell us whether that's true. Now, I've actually got the date being generated here by a random number. So every time we change, we enter a formula, the dates change, but that's fine. So the next one is whether it's greater than or equal to 31 and less than or equal to 60. So we're going to use the AND formula. So we're going to say if that is the aged is less than or equal to 31, and whether that is less than equal to 60. In fact, that should be greater than or equal to 31 and then less than 60. So if we look at that and we check out some of those, that's 37, 57, 42, 36. So that's all looking good. So again, we're going to use AND if the aged number of days is greater than or equal to 61 and the aged days is less than or equal to 90. Okay, that's looking good. And we're again going to use the AND. The age date is greater than or equal to 91 and the age date is less than or equal to 120. Perfect. Okay, and if the age date is greater than or equal to 121. So we should see that there is and I've just put some conditional formatting on these cells. So if we just look at the rules, it's just if the cell value is true, it's coloured in red text. So that looks fine. So if we want to then sum up what the aged amount is, we've got equal sum if the range. So that's going to be the range for 30. The condition is going to be true, and then that's the sum range. Okay, so if we just F4 that and F4 that, F4 and F4, I'll just copy that down. So that needs to be I, that needs to be J, J, K, 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 and that should be L, 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 L. Okay, so and what we see is our check digit here is 0, so the sum here, which is 4650, is the same as that. So we've done the invoice aging, quite a lot of helper columns and other stuff. So let's see if we can kind of cut that down, and we'll see if we can do that with array formulas. Okay, what we're going to do now is to use array formulas to complete this invoice aging, and just do it all in these 5 cells here. So if the first thing we need to do is create an array of age dates. So if we're going to use today minus the dates here. Now if we press F9 now, we should see a whole list of dates. So if we then say Control Z, so that's great. So then we need to say, is that less than or equal to, is that less than or equal to 30? So if we press F9 now, that's great. We get whether it's true or false about whether it's less than 30 days. And the other trick we're going to do here is just use a minus minus. And what that's going to do is convert the trues and falses to zeros and ones, and that's something we can then use in the sum product. And I learned that from Mike Gervin at Excel is Fun. So this training stuff does work. So if we say Control Z to get back, now what we can do is, since we've got a 0 and a 1, we can actually use the sum product function to multiply that array with the invoice amount, and we get 800. So that's terrific. I must have missed that one. Okay, so that's perfect. So let's try that trick again, but now we need to do it for 2 conditions where it's greater than or equal to 30 days, and less than 60 days. So what we're going to do is, let's say we're going to do today minus that to give us our array. Let's just check that. Perfect. Then what we're going to do is Control Z. So then we're going to say, is that greater than or equal to 31? So let's have a look at that. That gives us our trues and falses, and then we can say minus minus, because that will then tell us whether it's greater than or equal to 31 days. So now we do the second thing here, and we can copy that and see if we can paste it, and we'll do it the other way around as 60 now. And we do F9, that gives us our ones and zeros. Perfect. I'm loving that. So then all we need to do is put sum product around this little formula, and then we can wrap that there. And that's 890. Perfect. So once we got that, we can just copy that there, and that's going to be greater than 61 and less than or equal to 90. And then we've got the next one, it's greater than or equal to 91 and less than 120. And then the final one, we can just copy that, and we can say greater than or equal to 121. Greater greater than or equal to 121. Okay. Silly me has forgotten to lock. C3 to C32. Okay, and there we have it. So we've actually done all of the work in 5 cells using SumProduct. Perfect.